Hi guys, Amores here with more 16-bit Windows action. There is a new patch/driver that will let us install Windows 3.11 on modern hardware using the onboard setup ports. It was originally tested with Intel 4th Gen hardware, but we are going to use something much newer. After all, what could possibly go wrong? I know. Why would anyone install Windows 3.11 on very fast hardware? Well, if you're not doing for the fun of it, then maybe you just want to refresh your 16-bit skills and apply for a system admin job at Deutsche Bahn. And this is for real. A few months ago, a ad for a system admin job requiring Windows 3.11 and DOS skills became viral. You wouldn't expect Windows 3.11 to be involved with high-speed trains, but you know what they say, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So, if you want to nail this job interview, you could talk about the possibility of installing Windows 3.11 on modern hardware. What? Is that even possible? Yes, this is totally possible. I have tested on 4 modern Intel motherboards and it works 3 out of 4. I mean, 3 out of 4 ain't that bad.
Terrence here is absolutely right. And hell, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. You know what? Let's celebrate. Who wants a beer?
Great.
Okay. Whoa.
So, how can we install Windows 3.11 on modern hardware? Well, a fast CPU and lots of RAM won't scare a 1993 operating system like Windows 3.11, but a SATA drive surely can do it. If your motherboard has the option to let SATA ports work in the IDE mode, this might solve the problem. If not, we can use a PCI or PCI Express to SATA adapter, just like I did in my previous Windows 3 video. Hi there, this is a modern computer running DOS. In a moment, here we go, and not running Windows 3.1. Let's press enter, and we get a blinking cursor. The story ends here, or maybe not. This is the same computer. With a small change, the boot drive is connected to a SATA to PCI adapter. DOS is still running. Now let's type win. Well, this was my solution to get Windows 3.11 running on modern hardware. It worked because real mode requests made by Windows were handled, in this case, by the adapter's own firmware. Anyway, the firmware on a modern motherboard has the ability to handle real mode requests pretty well when running in AHCI mode. We can boot into DOS and Windows 98 will install just fine, but when Windows 3.1 tries to run into enhanced mode, it will simply crash. If adding extra hardware is not an option, now we can use the new AHCI driver made by Plum GMK or maybe Blue MGMK. Probably the both variants are wrong, but for sure we are talking about a software engineer who's an active user of Win3X French forum and lives in Ireland, but also speaks French. This virtual device driver will fix some dodgy firmware operations identified while he was trying to run Windows 3.1 on his own Z97 motherboard. As with any other Windows 3 driver, it must be loaded via system.ini configuration file and must be copied into Windows system folder unless we want to specify a custom path. And now let's use this AHCIFIX driver on something a bit newer than the Z97 test configuration. Here we have an Intel Skylake i5 CPU and a basic Gigabyte H110 motherboard. Well, we do get the Windows splash screen. Sometimes we won't get this far, and no, Windows won't work. But now, we do have a fix for this, don't we? We have to restart, of course, and next we have to edit system.ini file inside Windows folder. Here under the 386 ENH section, we add this line, device equals AHCIFIX.386. We save the file, of course, and next we have to copy the actual driver into Windows System folder. Now we are good to go. Let's type win and witness Windows 3.11 on modern hardware. In control panel, we have this lovely 386 enhanced icon. We have about 240 megabytes of RAM available. Unlike Windows 9X, Windows 3 won't give any RAM-related errors as long as we stick with the included HiMemSys memory manager. Let's check the CPU, and then we can test another configuration. We should have a Core i5 6th Gen, and we do. Oh, let's clarify one more thing. This driver will fix the AACI behavior when it has to handle a real mode request, but won't offer by any means 32-bit access to our disk hardware. Windows 3 has something like an IDE driver called WDCTRL that can offer 32-bit drive access, but works only with smaller drives up to 500 megabytes. In a future video, I will try to test with a 512 IDE flash module and this via to IDE and SATA adapter. Next, I did some tests on an ASUS Z27 motherboard and it didn't end well. This board has 6 SATA ports. This might be a reason, but also the initial Z97 test motherboard has 6 SATA ports, so I don't know. I did use the SATA port 0, which must be the most compatible. But more importantly, this driver works with an updated BIOS from September 2023 on this socket 1700 motherboard from ASUS. Now let's check the CPU one more time to be sure that we are talking about the right hardware. And yes, we are. Let's ping Google servers because we can. Actually, getting online with Windows 3.1, it's easy since we usually can use the onboard gigabit card along with basic DOS drivers that are still provided and quite up to date. Well, I didn't try the onboard gigabit card, but this PCI 1X card with a basic Realtek gigabit chip, which I used before, and I know that it works. Those drivers will simply install without any issues. Our gigabit card will be initialized at the next restart by the net start command. Next, we have to install the TCP/IP protocol, enable the HCP, and that's pretty much all we have to do to get online with Windows 3.11 launched in 1993. Before going online, let's go local and check the workgroups feature of this Windows, which should be able to get along with a Samba server and access the USB share from my 2020 router, which shouldn't even use this unsecure protocol in the first place, but it does. And here we go. Our local folders are accessible like it's 1993 again. Now let's go online. The best browser for Windows 3.11 must be Opera 362, the last one with a 16-bit version. And if you browse a Windows 3 optimized website like Win3x, everything looks so smooth and error-free, which obviously is not the case with almost the rest of the internet. But let's not go there. Let's pick our sites carefully and browse the web like it's 1999 again. This exact screen capture you are seeing right now, it's in real time. I'm not spinning up the footage. The browsing experience is indeed smooth. The screen is rendered really fast. I guess all we need is a fast computer and some video drivers. Speaking of video drivers, for those who are interested in the whole process of installing Windows 3.11, which requires a DOS bootable partition, I will show you how I did it. So let me play some fine tune while I'm showing you the process. And in about 3 minutes, I will end the video with some final thoughts while installing ATI RAGE 2 drivers from some USB floppy. So let's make a DOS bootable USB stick. Let's format our installation drive and install Windows 3.11. And now it's time to end the video with some final thoughts. Well, when you set up a Windows 98 configuration using some modern CPU and a compatible PCI Express GPU like an NVIDIA 7900GS, you still can't beat that level of performance with a virtual machine, not yet. And let's not mention the whole experience of running Windows 98 on real hardware. When it comes to Windows 3.1, I can't say the same. The software meant for Windows 3 will run perfectly fine in a virtual machine. But you know what? You won't be able to install PCI 80 RAGE 2 drivers like I'm about to do. And I will use a USB floppy for this job because it totally works in Windows 10 and also in DOS. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.